5 people are behind bars at this hour for their alleged role in the shooting of Tippecanoe Superior Court II Judge Steve Meyer and his wife Kimberly. All day today, our sister station in Lafayette has been combing through several court documents. Rachel Hawk explains what she's learned.
These are the 5 faces arrested Thursday for the shooting of Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife Kimberly at their Lafayette home, each of them having a hand in the way that day played out. Let's rewind to January 18th. At approximately 2:14 p.m., officers dispatched Mill Pond Lane for reports of shooting. Officers say a male was on the front porch claiming to be looking for his dog. Meyer said they did not have his dog. Shots fired from a black short-barreled shotgun. Police later say the serial number and model were obliterated. Judge Meyer and his wife were both inside the home at the time, both receiving injuries from the gunshots. Officers gave medical aid until Judge Meyer was taken to a level 1 trauma hospital. Officers noticed a vehicle parked suspiciously behind trees near the home, a Hyundai Kona with a stolen license plate. Surveillance footage on the Myers front doorstep shows a male in a black and gray hooded flannel, a gray scarf, gray earmuffs, black sunglasses, a white face mask depicting a white male face, and the hood pulled over his head. That suspect, now identified as Raylan Ferguson of Lexington, Kentucky.
Hold on. Did y'all see that neighborhood? Did this guy really think that walking around the neighborhood like that with a hoodie on, some glasses, a medical mask, you're not going to stand out? And a stolen vehicle parked to the side? Because this is some shit you only see in the movies. Like, what will possess someone to come up with this type of plan? Let's continue.
We rewind back to January 16th, that same distinct knock on the door by an individual with the same description and outfit as Ferguson on the 18th. That individual, now identified as Ferguson, claimed to be a food delivery driver with an order. The Myers responding saying they have the wrong house. One suspect, Thomas Gregory Moss, was set to go to trial before Judge Meyer just 2 days after the shooting happened. Moss, a habitual offender, has a record of felony charges, domestic battery cases, and more. The case before Judge Meyer was regarding domestic battery that he was later served a no-contact order for in 2024. Now, how did police piece it together? The victim in Moss's case saw the news and alerted police that back on January 12th, an individual with a mask knocked on her front door in Pennsylvania. Her surveillance footage shows the same mask Ferguson was wearing at the Myers home later on the 18th. Amanda Millsap, Thomas Moss's ex-wife, had attempted to bribe the victim with $10,000 not to testify in Moss's case. Social media tied Zenaida Greer, Raylan Ferguson, Blake Smith, and Thomas Moss together. Greer and Ferguson also lived together in Lexington. The Phantom Motorcycle Club 1%, a gang tying Smith and Moss together, and the Vice Lords tying Moss and Ferguson together. The next step in the timeline, the very court Moss was attempting to avoid.
All right, let's unravel all this, because this is something you only see in the movies. This is not something that you see every day. This is crazy. So this happened in Lafayette, Indiana. The individual who was originally scheduled for trial, his name was Thomas Moss. He's 43 years old. He was scheduled to go to stand trial on charges of unlawful possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon, intimidation, criminal recklessness, and domestic battery. He was scheduled to start trial just 2 days after the shooting occurred. So 2 days before the shooting, he decided to come up with this plan, or maybe they planned this prior to the shooting actually happened, to take out the judge who was presiding over his case. So let's see how everyone was connected in this case, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So Thomas Moss, again, is the individual who was scheduled to stand trial. He decided to come up with this plan to take out the judge, who he thought maybe doing that would maybe potentially get his case tossed out. I don't know what his thinking process was, but so we all know that Raylan Ferguson is the alleged shooter. Now, they're saying that 2 days before the shooting occurred, he attempted to do the same thing. He attempted to knock on the door, but in this case, he had food in his hand and he made it seem like he was at the wrong house. the thing is with these cameras, these Ring cameras and stuff like that, you can actually talk through the camera. Like you don't have to actually go to your door nowadays. And I've had properties where I've been in a whole nother state and can see someone at my door at my property, and I could talk to them through my phone, like, hey, can I help you? You know, if I see someone just wandering or loitering around the property. So I'm assuming the first time that's what the judge did when he attempted to come to the house with the food. The second time they actually went to the door, and that's how he was able to shoot through the door. Luckily, they didn't open the door. You know what I'm saying? They probably looked and was like, wait a minute. 2 days ago, another individual tried the same thing. And you got to think about it. When you a judge, you have numerous threats on your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you responsible for people, whether they walk out of a courtroom or whether they spend the rest of their life in jail. So yeah, you got to be very cautious. So, and I'm curious how they were able to get the judge's home address. But nevertheless, there's also being reported that on the 12th of January, potentially this same individual went to the actual witness property and attempted to, act like he was making a food delivery as well. So this was very methodical. This is very thought out. Maybe not smart, but they definitely had a plan in place. So that's Raylan Ferguson, the guy with the mohawk. Blake Smith, seen here, is alleged to be the person who purchased the weapon that was used in the assassination attempt on the judge. So he's alleged to be the person that purchased the shotgun that was used, and he's being charged as well. Let me read off all the charges because I think they're all being charged with the same thing. Well, actually, no. Let me continue to go through the list of individuals that were involved. So Amanda Millsap is alleged to be the ex-wife of Thomas Moss. She's being charged with attempting to bribe the witness in the original case. So they're saying that she went out to Pennsylvania, met up with the alleged victim, attempted to give her $10,000. He or she, I'm not sure if it's a male or female. I'm assuming it's a female because it's a domestic battery case that he's originally facing. So attempted to bribe her with 10,000. The individual declined, and I guess that's when they decided, okay, well, we got to take out the judge. So that was her role. Zenaida Greer, 61, of Lexington, Kentucky. She's actually the one who's alleged to have driven the individual to the site where the judge's life was attempted to be taken. So I guess they drove all the way from Kentucky, and they're saying it's being reported that her and the alleged shooter actually lived together. So I don't know if that's his like sugar mama or whatever, but she was involved as well. So let's read off the charges. So Thomas Moss, in addition to the original charges that he was facing for trial, is now being charged with 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder, 1 count of aggravated battery, 1 count of battery resulting in seriously bodily injury, 2 counts of battery by means of a deadly weapon, 2 counts of intimidation, and 1 count of obstruction of justice. Raylan Ferguson is being charged with all of the same charges as Thomas Moss. Blake Smith is being charged with 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder, 1 count of aggravated battery, 1 count of battery resulting in a seriously bodily injury, 2 counts of battery by means of a deadly weapon, 2 counts of intimidation, 1 count of assisting a criminal. Amanda Millsap, 45, of Lafayette, she's being charged with 1 count of bribery and 1 count of obstruction of justice. And Zenaida Greer, the old head, Mama Greer, she's being charged with 1 count of assisting a criminal and 1 count of obstruction of justice. Now, it's also being reported that Blake, Smith, Moss, and Ferguson are all intertwined with a street gang called the Phantom Biker Club, and that's how they're all connected. And also being reported that Moss is a high-ranking member of the Indiana chapter of the Phantom Motorcycle Club. You see stuff like this in like Sons of Anarchy, you know what I'm saying? Like a TV show. This is not something that happens in real life. So for them to go through with this sort of plan and think that they were going to get away with it, listen, they can track you from the origin of where you left your house to, I think they have footage of the individual, the shooter, in the food place purchasing the food. So it's like they're gonna have you dead to rights, man. Of course, they got footage of him at the scene because there's a ring camera. Y'all not getting away with these crimes, man. In this day and age, pack it up, man. You know what I'm saying? You'd have been better off just facing whatever your destiny would have been in that courtroom. Now, you probably never will see the light of day again because you know they're gonna make an example out of you. And in addition to that, they're definitely going to make an example out of that biker club because they're going to assume that you're all tied into this. Everything is connected. Everything is going to lead back to the gang. So now there's going to be a bigger investigation. Like, you just made the whole scene hot. Chief Justice Loretta Rush, she hosted a security webinar for trial judges across the state. And I believe 200 judges attended. It was a 30-minute live discussion on safety and security for the judges. They did a survey back in 2023. 70% of judges reported that they had been the target of a threat. One judge even said that one of the litigants threatened to set me on fire. Another judge said another litigant threatened to blow up their house. So these are serious, serious threats that they can't take lightly. So, you know, being a judge, I'm pretty sure is a very dangerous job because, again, you have people's lives in your hands. Most people will say that, you know, depending on who you ask, that it's a job that you have to understand once you take that oath and you decide to sit on that stand as a judge. I guess this is what comes with it. But needless to say, I don't think anyone should have their life taken because they're just doing their job. You know, they're doing what they're asked to do. So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. This is a crazy story. Again, man, I would have thought Jax was involved. I don't know if y'all get the Sons of Anarchy reference, but y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Do y'all think that all of these individuals should be tried and punished to the fullest extent? And have y'all ever seen anything like this in y'all city, in y'all state? Because this is the first time I'm ever seeing anything like this, man. I appreciate y'all once again. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all continue to share the videos. And until next time, peace.